The following program is furnished by The Truth About Your Future, LLC. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect the views of this station. This information is education and not financial advice. Sponsors of the program pay a fee to be interviewed. See the truthayf.com disclosure page for details. Consult a financial advisor before investing.
The Truth About Your Future with Rick Edelman is brought to you by Global X ETFs, dedicated to providing investors with unexplored and intelligent solutions. And by Bitwise, a trusted guide in crypto has never mattered more. Connect with their dedicated team of crypto experts nationwide at bitwiseinvestments.com. And by Invesco QQQ, a fund that allows you to access the innovators of the NASDAQ 100, Invesco.com. And by Edelman Financial Engines. Rick Edelman is a board member, consultant, shareholder, and client of EFE, but EFE is unaffiliated and has no say over the content of The Truth About Your Future with Rick Edelman.
This is where technology, innovation, and personal finance come together.
This is The Truth About Your Future with Rick Edelman.
And now your host, Rick Edelman.
And a happy weekend to you. Some of what we're going to be covering today: the truth about your friends at work. Should you engage in staking and lending to earn yield? Building a robotic dog to service Alzheimer's patients. Tax loss harvesting, plus our health and wellness segment with my wife, Jean Edelman. I want to digress a little bit from our normal commentary and just share with you a personal story. It's been a year since we announced, Jean and I, that we were leaving Edelman Financial Engines, the financial planning firm that we founded back in 1986. This transition was a long time in coming, about 5 or 6 years, and we finally announced it to our staff and our financial planners at the firm about a year ago, a little more than a year ago. The departure had a whole lot of fanfare, as you would hope and as we would have wanted. The company threw Jean and me a big farewell party. They had 200 of the firm's advisors and longtime staff there to celebrate our career. Longtime, very dear friends of Jean and me threw us a party and invited 50 close friends and colleagues to have a special private event. We got a great many emails from our many advisors at the firm and many of the staff, a lot of whom have been with us for decades. And it was, as you can imagine, a very emotional time for us to be walking away from the company that we had created and was really our baby, our lives fully devoted to the building and operating of Edelman Financial. And in this year since, Jean and I have been very busy creating and launching this radio show and DACFP, the Digital Assets Council of Financial Professionals, DACFP.com, which is our crypto education company. We teach folks about digital assets, blockchain technology, and helping you understand the investment opportunities that exist. Through all of this, it was really very difficult. We were in the middle of COVID, of course. And we lost our very dearest friend to cancer. My mom passed during this period. Jean's father has passed. And COVID, of course, is just a blanket over everything that has changed, everything for everyone. We are very excited about what we're doing, our involvement with the continuation of our consumer education here on The Truth About Your Future with our newsletter and my new book, The Truth About Crypto, this radio show and podcast, our video cast, webinars, master classes. It's all very exciting. And I'm speaking pretty much nonstop at conferences nationwide. This past spring, I did 23 gigs in just 3 months. And my calendar is again booked this fall through Thanksgiving. I'm one of the most popular speakers in the financial field, now in the crypto field as well. And we also do a lot of work on Capitol Hill involving crypto regulation, financial literacy, and retirement security. My new book on crypto hit #1 on the bestseller list when it debuted in May. I get a lot of invitations to speak. A lot of companies are turning to me, asking for me to provide consulting to them. And we're also busy with Rowan University, where Jean and I went to college, the Edelman Fossil Park, the Edelman Planetarium, and the Edelman College of Communications and Creative Arts. So we're very busy and very excited, and we're very happy with everything that is going on in our new lives, this new chapter that we have embarked upon in this past year. Looking back, though, I see that we made one mistake, and that's the focus that I want to emphasize with you here. Most of our friends most of our social network was tied to our financial planning firm. We built a company that was family friendly. The slogan that Gene and I had created decades ago was that we're not here to have fun, but we want to have fun while we're here. And so we entertained heavily. We often had our executives and senior staff at our home. We had all of our financial planners at our home multiple times. We paid for trips all over the world with our top people. We took folks to Paris and to Rome and to Machu Picchu and other exotic places. We took everybody in the company, 1,500 people, to Disney World twice. Then not just our staff, but their families as well, their spouses and their children. Wonderful people that we've had the privilege of being associated with through the decades. We think the utmost of them, and we spent much of the past 40 years with these folks. And then we left the company. And that action, our separation from Edelman Financial Engines, severed the connection. In the past year, we've been in contact with maybe 5 or 10 of our former colleagues. Now, I'm not complaining about this. This is not a pity party. That's not my point here. This is merely a fact of life. I know that these folks like Gene and me and think highly of us and are very fond of us. And I know that we all enjoy being together whenever there's an opportunity. The one thing we all had with our former colleagues, our former planners and our former staff, the one thing we all had in common was work. And that's no longer the case. They still have their work. We're just not involved with it any longer. And people are busy with their jobs, as busy as ever. They're busy with their families, their church, the community. It's hard to stay in touch when the one common denominator you shared no longer exists. I get it. We're part of their past. They're still in the game. They're still dealing with the daily activities of the company. We're out of it. And so I think it can be awkward for them. So while Gene and I wanted to build a family-friendly company, and I think we succeeded, I think we succeeded in treating everyone like family, the fact is we're not family. We were just colleagues and coworkers, not family. And so the lesson we've learned, a little late, but not too late, and the lesson that I'm sharing with you so that as you plan for your departure from your job where you've spent your career with your colleagues and coworkers is this. Don't limit your social relationships solely to the people you work with. I've been talking with a lot of people who have retired or left their jobs or changed careers over the past years, and everyone tells me the same story. If you're lucky, there are a few you'll remain close to, but the overwhelming majority of people you worked with, you'll never see again. You'll never talk to them again. In our case, this is true even for people whose lives we've changed, who owe us, frankly, darn near everything they have. We just shrug. It's just human nature. There's no malice. There's no animosity. It just is an acknowledgement, a recognition of the importance of friendships, deep, meaningful relationships. If you think you're getting them from the people you work with at your job, I think you're going to be disappointed. You've been building a successful career. Make sure you also build yourself a life, one that is separated from the career. Who are your friends? Who do you spend time with outside of work? Who do you watch ball games with? Who do you go to dinner with? Who do you travel with? If everyone on your list are coworkers, you're making a mistake. Your post-work life is going to be lonely. And if you now realize that you've been making this mistake, fix it. It's easy. Just start now. Broaden your social circles. Meet new people. It's not hard. And that's what Gene and I have always done and what we're doing now. Most of our social circle was tied to the business, but not all of it. So we've got a great stable of close friends, and that's really important, folks who are not connected to the old history of our company. And meeting new people, it's not only fun, but we don't have that old history of the company as an anchor. It gives us a chance to reinvent ourselves. And I'm mentioning this to you because this show is all about your future. And I want to make sure you're not surprised or disappointed like we have been in many cases, so that you can look forward to your future with a more realistic approach than I think we did. It gave us a bit of a false start. That added to some of the emotional challenge of leaving the company, and so maybe this commentary can help you avoid that. After all, like I said, this show is called The Truth About Your Future. And the truth is that in that future, after you leave your job, you'll want to keep your friends, even if that means finding new ones. I'm Rick Edelman. This is The Truth About Your Future.
You're listening to The Truth About Your Future with Rick Edelman. Thanks for listening to today's show, and thanks to Bitwise Asset Management for being our sponsor. Rick asked Bitwise to support the show because Bitwise has just one mission: to help you understand and access the opportunities in crypto. As crypto continues to grow in scale and complexity, a trusted guide is more important than ever. That's why Bitwise has built a nationwide team of crypto experts to help you. So take advantage of Bitwise's team. They work closely with financial advisors, institutions, and individual investors just like you. Talk to a Bitwise expert today or sharpen your crypto knowledge with Bitwise's awesome library of content. You'll find great help whether you're a crypto beginner or a financial professional. Crypto has major risks to consider, including the loss of your entire investment. So before investing in crypto funds, visit bitwiseinvestments.com for their library of content and to learn about the risks with these investments. That's bitwiseinvestments.com.
The Truth About Your Future is sponsored by Global X ETFs. Exponential technologies are transforming the world around us and creating new investment opportunities along the way. But where to start? At Global X, we have spent more than a decade focusing on long-term emerging trends, what we call thematic growth. While many of these disruptions are now part of our daily lives, like fintech and telemedicine, others are making their impact felt behind the scenes, or perhaps under the hood. Think of the lithium batteries that power electric vehicles, the rise of hydrogen fuel cells, or renewables like solar and wind, which are becoming increasingly cost-competitive and more appealing to consumers who are environmentally conscious or sensitive to volatile fuel prices. All of these themes represent vital components of a next-generation green energy economy that is more reliant on innovation and less dependent on fossil fuels. Learn how you can add these and other green investment themes to your portfolio at globalxetfs.com. That's globalxetfs.com, or ask your financial advisor.
When your health diagnosis isn't going according to plan, you likely seek a second opinion. It's time you treat your wealth the same way. Get a new perspective, new information, a new diagnosis for your investments. Get a second opinion from a wealth planner at Edelman Financial Engines. Our dedicated planners offer personalized advice and are ready to talk one-on-one. Our approach is backed by institutional rigor. We model over 38,000 securities monthly, so we can better stress test your portfolio through thousands of scenarios. So, take a deep breath and take care of your wealth like you take care of your health. Get your complimentary wealth checkup today, where you can discuss your financial plan with a wealth planner. Call Edelman Financial Engines at 888-899-4450. That's 888-899-4450. Or visit planefe.com/Rick today.
Welcome back to The Truth About Your Future. We're reaching year end, and I know you, from an investment perspective, you're probably feeling like me. Can't wait for 2022 to be over. But there is something we can do to get out of this with a little less pain. And to help us talk about that, I'm very happy to bring back onto the program my good friend Matt Hogan, CIO, Chief Investment Officer of Bitwise Asset Management. Matt, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back, Rick.
This has been a dreadful year in the financial markets. But the good news is there's something people can do about it before year end, isn't there?
Yeah, it's definitely making lemonade out of lemons time. And what you're talking about, of course, is tax loss harvesting. You know, when you have positions that have fallen, you can sell those positions, lower your taxes, and then reallocate back into the market. And when markets are down, it's an opportunity to lower your near-term tax bill. And many investors will find that valuable.
The problem with selling is that the IRS generally says if you sell an investment and you take that loss, you can't buy back that investment for at least 30 days. Well, that leads a lot of investors to say, well, I don't know if I want to play that game because with my dumb luck, I'll sell today, get the tax break, and then before I buy back in a month, the market will recover and I'll miss out on all that profit. How do you deal with that issue in the world of crypto?
Yeah, well, first of all, they're right to be concerned about that. So what you need to do is to find a way to sell one investment and invest in another. So what they say is you can't invest in a substantially identical position. What you have to do is buy something different. So you get to write off up to $3,000 of ordinary income. Of course, you should consult first with your tax advisor.
And not only can you write off $3,000, you can also use it to offset gains you have in other assets. You just wrote a white paper on all of this, Matt. And how do we get the white paper that you've just written on tax loss harvesting?
If you go to bitwiseinvestments.com to our insights page, you can download the white paper. And the white paper, I think, is the first study of what happens if you apply tax loss harvesting to a crypto portfolio. Crypto is the best performing asset class in the world over the last 5 years, and it's had 50% plus drawbacks. Each of those drawbacks was an opportunity to harvest losses, lower your near-term tax bill, and compound what people are calling tax alpha. The study we did looked at the returns of investment in Bitcoin from 2014 to 2022. And of course, that was a spectacular investment, up 2,400%. But if you had added tax loss harvesting into it, you gained almost an additional 1,000 percentage points over that period of time. Now, of course, there's no guarantee that will continue in the future, but I think you, me, and everyone does believe that crypto will continue to be volatile in the future. So adding a tax loss harvesting discipline on top of your crypto investments can lower your bill, generate tax alpha, and create the opportunity to compound greater returns if and when crypto recovers in the future, which of course I think it will.
Again, you can receive that report at bitwiseinvestments.com. Let me ask about one other element of this notion of tax loss harvesting. We talked about the fact that when you sell a security, you have to wait 30 days to rebuy it. And that is giving some investors pause. You know, Bitcoin is a one-of-a-kind, unique asset. You can't easily sell it and buy something similar because there's really nothing similar to it. But some folks argue that you don't have to wait 30 days if you sell Bitcoin to rebuy it. You can sell it today and rebuy it immediately because Bitcoin is not a security and therefore it doesn't fall under the wash sale rule. Do you subscribe to that approach?
That's a popular approach, and it does meet the definition of the law. I know that the IRS is looking at that. I'd encourage people to consult with their tax advisor. But if you Google, wash sale and Bitcoin, you'll see a lot of very serious firms, major tax institutions that provide exactly that advice, Rick. So there is nothing better than paying less taxes at the end of the year. It feels great, and you can be smart about it, act on it today, and reap those benefits. It's a really great thing to do.
But is there any reason not to tax loss harvest in crypto?
You could miss significant returns. We've looked at studies that showed if you've been out of the crypto market for the 10 best days over the last 5 years, you've missed out on all of the returns of crypto. So you really do not want to step out of the market. There's, of course, trading risk, execution risk. And if you sell one thing and buy something that's different, you could get different returns. But this is a tried and true discipline. I know that applying it to crypto is a new idea, but people have been harvesting tax losses in stocks and bonds for more than 100 years. This is a well-established thing to do. It has real benefits. Investors should consider the risk, but they should also consider if this is right for them.
And what are you hearing from advisors about all this as we approach year end?
Hugely excited about it, Rick. Look, advisors are going into the year end. They're going to be having conversations with their clients. Those conversations are going to be difficult, not because of anything the advisor did, but because the market is down. They want to have a positive thing to discuss with their clients. One of the things they can discuss is, look, we don't control the markets, but what we can control is taking smart actions, understanding the tax code, and lower your tax bill. It's something that advisors are very excited to have a conversation with their clients about. I know Bitwise is talking with a lot of financial advisors about how to do it within a crypto setting. So I think it's going to be a big thing as we approach the end of the year.
It's one thing to acknowledge that you can make the situation a little bit better by playing this tax strategy. But more fundamentally than that, Matt, let me ask you, with crypto down so much this year, it's down 70% from its high, have people just, the heck with the tax loss strategy, just getting out of crypto entirely? Are people giving up on the notion of crypto? And what are advisors doing with their own personal investments in crypto?
Yeah, not the advisors we work with, Rick. We've had very few redemptions at Bitwise. And when we talk to the largest institutions, the largest financial advisors, they're still engaged in crypto. It is down significantly. Crypto has been down significantly before. It moves somewhat in 4-year cycles, 3 up years and 1 pullback year. That's what it's been doing since 2011. This is the pullback year. Yes, it's been painful. If anything, we're finding advisors are rebalancing their portfolios, maybe adding to their crypto positions to get them back to the 1 or 2.5% level that they've been targeting. We've had very few that are stepping out of the market. Underneath the surface, despite what you're seeing in price trends, the fundamentals of crypto are very strong. The investors we talk to are looking past this crypto winter and looking at the crypto spring that's coming. And most of them are very excited about that.
That's Matt Hogan. He's the Chief Investment Officer of Bitwise Asset Management. Now you're beginning to get a sense of why I'm such a big fan of Bitwise, why I'm not only invested in the company itself, but also I'm an investor in several of the funds that Bitwise offers. And you can learn all about those at bitwiseinvestments.com. Matt, thanks so much for joining us on the show today.
Thanks for having me, Rick.
As always, Matt and I had a conversation much longer than you just heard here on the radio. You can listen, watch, or read the entire chat. Just go to thetruth.ayf.com. Stay with us.
The Truth About Your Future with Rick Edelman is sponsored by Charles Schwab. Schwab's passion for serving clients is more than standard practice. It's part of who they are. With transparent pricing, 24/7 live support, and a satisfaction guarantee, the people at Schwab go the extra mile to help you on your investing journey. They're not just financial people, they're people too. Learn more at schwab.com/whyschwab. That's schwab.com/whyschwab.
What do all the greatest innovations have in common? Agents of innovation. Ordinary people who shape the future by putting their money behind the right ideas. Invesco QQQ is a fund that allows you access to innovators of the NASDAQ 100. So you don't have to be an inventor to help create what's next to come. Be an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ. Learn more at Invesco.com/QQQ. There are risks when investing in ETFs, including possible loss of money. ETFs' risks are similar to those of stocks. Investments in the tech sector are subject to greater risk and more volatility than more diversified investments. The NASDAQ 100 Index comprises the 100 largest non-financial companies on the NASDAQ. You can't invest directly into an index. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in the prospectus at Invesco.com. Invesco Distributors, Inc.
You're listening to The Truth About Your Future with Rick Edelman, sponsored by Choice. If you want more control over how you invest your money, you need to check out Choice. Choice makes it easy for you to invest in Bitcoin and other crypto assets in your retirement account. You can transfer your existing IRA, roll over an old 401k, or start fresh with a new investment. There are no hidden fees or account minimums, just more choice in how you invest your money. You can open a deductible or Roth IRA and invest in Bitcoin, crypto, stocks, ETFs, gold, real estate, and more, all in a single account. Don't let your old bank or brokerage firm limit what you're allowed to invest in. Do what Rick did and take control of your future by heading on over to retirewithchoice.com/Rick. That's retirewithchoice.com/Rick, or simply search Choice IRA in the App Store or Google Play Store on your iPhone or Android device. It's your money. It should be your choice. retirewithchoice.com/Rick.
You're listening to The Truth About Your Future. I'm Rick Edelman. You know that one of the big passions that Gene and I have is the fight against Alzheimer's. We have been very actively engaged in this space for, 20 years or more. And as you know, the fight against Alzheimer's has not been going well. There is a huge amount of money being devoted to this effort. $6 billion so far has been raised by government as well as academia and companies in the effort to develop drugs that will serve as a treatment, as a cure, as a vaccine. And there really has been very little progress to date in this area. And it's a huge struggle because there are millions of Americans who suffer from Alzheimer's and many, many millions more who are going to if we don't eradicate this disease. The odds are 1 in 10 Americans at age 60 who develop symptoms of Alzheimer's. By the time you're 82, its odds are 1 in 3. By age 90, it's 1 out of 2 of us are going to develop Alzheimer's disease. It is 100% fatal and the most expensive disease to treat because patients require 24/7 care. In most cases, especially in early onset Alzheimer's, the patients are ambulatory. They're physically able to move around, which means you can turn on a stove, drive a car, pick up a firearm. This makes it very dangerous for them as well as those around them. And this is why the focus that Gene and I have is not merely on the issue of Alzheimer's research and an effort to find a diagnostic tool or a treatment or a cure, but also we devote equal amounts of energy and attention to the notion of caregivers, because the overwhelming majority of patients are being cared for free by family and friends. Many caregivers give up their careers in order to provide care for their loved ones. What I wanted to do now is to share with you one of the investments that we've made in this space. And so I'm very happy to welcome onto the program Tom Stevens. He is CEO of Tombot. Tom, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
I am, as I mentioned, an investor in Tombot, and I'm also serving on the board of directors. Tom is doing something I think is rather unique in the Alzheimer's marketplace. Tom is building a robot. Her name is Jenny. She looks like a Labrador retriever. And if you hear some yelping and barking in the background, that's Jenny that you're listening to. If you go to our website, thetruthayf.com, we've got video of this conversation that Tom and I are having, and there's Jenny front and center. Tom, share with us what led you to start the company.
My mom in 2011 was diagnosed with Alzheimer's dementia, and I had to take away her dog for safety reasons. That was a pretty rough day, and it really damaged our relationship. Every day it was, where's my dog? Why can't I have my dog? When am I getting my dog back? That led me to start looking around for substitutes for live animal companions. But I didn't find anything that she liked or would respond to. So I wondered if technology might play a role.
And that led to your development of Jenny, a robotic dog. Jenny's remarkably realistic looking.
So we did 3 rounds of customer studies with hundreds of seniors with dementia. They have a very strong preference for realism, in appearance, in texture, but most importantly, behaviors. We had no idea how to do that. So we teamed up with Jim Henson's Creature Shop. And with their help, we're making what we believe to be is the world's most realistic robotic animal. And she's fully interactive. She can tell how and where she's being touched. She can tell the difference between a simple touch, a slow caress, a vigorous pet, and being hugged. She can feel herself being moved and respond as a real dog would in that context.
So how does Jenny help somebody who has dementia?
So basically, it's the desire to care for the robot as if it were a real dog and makes them feel good and ultimately relieves the behavioral and psychological symptoms of dementia.
So in other words, this robot helps calm the patient, helps them feel better.
Absolutely. And it really is about the mechanism of wanting to care for the dog.
So it strikes me that Jenny would be useful beyond Alzheimer's patients for patients who have other mental health adversities, no?
It's a great point. About 1 billion people around the world suffer from some serious mental health disorder. That includes anxiety, depression, bipolar, PTSD, schizophrenia. children with autism and children and adults with cognitive issues all struggle with many of the same things with their mental health that a senior with dementia does. And so what the research shows is that live animals can make improvements in each of those mental health conditions, but many of those people are not able to care for a live animal, and therefore a robot can be an effective substitute. About 30% of our pre-order and waitlist customers have actually come in for other uses other than dementia.
So what exactly is it that Jenny can do? I mean, she's not able to walk around, so what are her functions?
So Jenny is designed as a lapdog. It can listen, it can move, it can pay attention to conversations, it can be available for petting. And that's really what Jenny does.
She basically keeps the patient company.
That's right. She's designed to stay within easy reach, either on somebody's lap or on a table or chair close by, or on a sofa, so that she's always there to help them soothe and just give them something to do.
So describe her dimensions.
So Jenny will be about 14 inches from the tip of her nose to the base of her tail, will weigh around 5 pounds. My mother, she liked to carry around her robot like a football, just tuck it underneath her arm and go for a walk, room to room, going outside or other supervised outings. She became inseparable from her robot, and we realized that the robot needed to be small enough and portable enough that she could do that comfortably without posing a fall risk to her during those situations.
Jenny is fully functional and does what you want it to do, but she's not really designed to be manufactured in quantity. And that's the next step that you're engaging in, yes?
Exactly right. This Jenny is rather fragile. We need this to be manufacturable efficiently, inexpensively, so that as many people can afford the robot as possible. And so that was really the engineering effort that we've been engaged in over the last 12 months, is to improve all the mechanical subsystems, improve all the electronic subsystems, all in effect to make her more durable, pass the safety certifications, and also make them manufacturable at scale.
And durability is an issue because it's not unheard of for an Alzheimer's patient to take Jenny and throw her across the room.
My mother was the test case for all of our early prototypes, and we learned lots of things the hard way. We learned that people are likely to feed the robot. My mom fed her prototype chocolate pudding, so we realized we were going to need to be able to clean the robot effectively. But in a fit of anger, she got upset and took her robot and threw it into the wall and broke it into a couple different pieces. So we realized that even if someone is going to be careful with the robot, just falling off their lap or falling off a table, falling out of bed is going to be a frequent occurrence, and so needs to be able to recover from those events without damage or without degrading the performance of the robot.
Jenny is not merely for the patient, but it provides some value to the caregiver as well, right?
Absolutely. So about 83% of seniors with dementia live at home and are cared for by an unpaid family member. Oftentimes that person has other duties around the house, like cooking or cleaning, or simply needing to go to the restroom without worrying about mom going into the kitchen and starting a fire. And so the robot does a couple of things on behalf of the caregiver. First of all, it engages them. It gives them something to do. But we also realized early on that a senior with dementia loses the ability to function as their own patient advocate with the doctor. We would take my mom into the doctor, knowing full well she had all kinds of issues that were going on. The doctor would say, "Nancy, how have you been since the last time I saw you?" And she would simply say, "Fine." We need the robot to be able to capture information that assists in communicating to the doctor what's going on. And so Jenny will be the first robot of any kind that helps monitor for safety and health. And our initial target will be for sundowning syndrome. Sundowning is where the dementia person becomes especially confused and disoriented late in the day. And we're working with the Center for Geriatric Innovation at Cleveland Clinic on developing the user interface so that doctors can quickly understand what's happening with that person and change treatment courses so that they try to get more even cognitive levels, particularly late in the day.
We're talking with Tom Stevens, the CEO of Tombot, who is building a robotic dog for the benefit of Alzheimer's patients and their caregivers. Tom, tell us what the cost of Jenny will be.
Haven't finalized our pricing. A lot of that will be determined by our final costs of manufacturing, but we're targeting her to be in the $1,500 range. And we're looking to have Medicare and Medicaid, as well as the private insurers, participate with reimbursements.
And when are you expecting Jenny to become available?
We're looking at shipments in early 2024.
And can people pre-order Jenny now?
If people go to our website, tombot.com, you'll see a section for reserving a robot. There's no commitment. You're just putting your name on our list so that we know to contact you as robots become available. So we've been quite popular with the media, which is generating a lot of enthusiasm for buying robots.
So you can see why Gene and I are very enthusiastic about Tombot and why we have decided to become investors in the company and why I'm serving on the board to assist Tom in his efforts to grow the company. And so we are hopeful that over the next couple of years, Jenny will make it to the marketplace and be of value and service to Alzheimer's patients and their caregivers. One thing I'll mention as an aside is that Tombot is in the process of raising more capital right now. And if you are curious about the fundraising that it's engaging in right now, you can go to republic.com/Tombot. I am not requesting that you invest. I'm not suggesting that you invest. I think you might find it of interest out of curiosity, and I do encourage you, if you have someone in your family who is struggling with Alzheimer's, that you take a look at Jenny and see if it's something that might be of value to your patient as well as to your patient's caregivers. That's tombot.com. Tom Stevens, thanks so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you so much, Rick. Say bye-bye.
You can watch, read, or listen to the full interview, and if you watch, you'll get to see Jenny in action, not just hear her yelping. Go to thetruthayf.com. And you're probably listening to this radio show on the radio because, well, yeah, it's a radio show. But did you know it's also a podcast? So if you haven't heard the news, I'm going to be continuing this show as a podcast only starting January 1st. And it's now going to be a daily podcast. You can subscribe wherever you download your podcasts at iTunes, Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever. And of course, my own website, thetruthayf.com. Stay with us for more here on The Truth About Your Future.
Did you know Schwab offers a satisfaction guarantee? If for any reason you're not completely satisfied, Schwab will refund your fee or commission and work with you to make things right. You won't find that kind of promise everywhere, but you will find it at Schwab. It's just another way that they put clients' interest at the heart of everything they do. Learn what's included and how it works at schwab.com/satisfaction. That's schwab.com/satisfaction.
You've been planning for your retirement for some time, but right now, things may not be going according to plan. If your retirement timeline is shifting due to market performance, it's time for a second opinion. Edelman Financial Engines can help answer questions like when to take Social Security and how you may be able to turn your savings into the retirement income you need. You don't want to postpone retirement. Now is the time to talk to a dedicated wealth planner. At Edelman Financial Engines, you get personalized investment recommendations. Our approach is backed by institutional rigor. We model over 38,000 securities monthly, so we can better stress test your portfolio through thousands of scenarios. And our planners don't sell products to earn commissions. Get your complimentary wealth checkup today, where you can discuss your financial goals with a wealth planner. Call Edelman Financial Engines at 888-899-4450. That's 888-899-4450. Or visit planefe.com/Rick today.
Allow us to introduce you to Sabrina, an ordinary person who helped shape the future by putting her money behind the right ideas. Each morning, Sabrina enjoys a 20-mile bike ride and meditation that brings her serenity for the day to come. Sabrina is also accessing the companies that are revolutionizing the tech world by investing in Invesco QQQ. Invesco QQQ is a fund that allows you access to innovators of the NASDAQ 100, which goes to show you don't have to be an integrated circuit engineer to help push progress forward. Become an agent of innovation. Learn more at Invesco.com/QQQ. There are risks when investing in ETFs, including possible loss of money. ETFs risks are similar to those of stocks. Investments in the tech sector are subject to greater risk and more volatility than more diversified investments. The NASDAQ 100 index comprises the 100 largest non-financial companies on the NASDAQ. You can't invest directly into an index. Before investing, consider the fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Visit Invesco.com for a prospectus with this information. Read it carefully before investing.
Welcome back to The Truth About Your Future with Rick Edelman. Great to have you with me this weekend. We've got a question here on The Truth About Your Future. John from Glendale, California sent in his question. Let's listen.
Hi, Rick. Longtime fan of your show. I just started working my way through your new book, The Truth About Crypto. And I also just recently made my first purchase of Ethereum. When I made that purchase, I was offered to stake my Ethereum for Ethereum 2 at 3.675 APR. I've done some research on staking, but I wanted to ask what your view was on staking and if you could give a clearer explanation of what it is. Thank you for taking my question, and I look forward to listening to your answer.
Well, John, I'm glad you've jumped down the rabbit hole into crypto. And yeah, staking is a very common way that people deal with their crypto investments. It's a way for you to post your coins onto the blockchain, which helps develop and grow the blockchain. And in exchange, you earn interest. You quoted nearly 4% annual return. So it's a way that you can increase your profit by investing in crypto. You need to recognize there are a lot of details regarding staking. It takes a little more time than we can delve into here on the show. I cover it in my book, The Truth About Crypto, which you said you're already reading. The bottom line is this. Staking is one of the ways that data gets placed onto the blockchain and is cryptographically authenticated. And for the act of engaging in staking, you get rewarded economically for participating. There are risks associated with this. You need to make sure you understand how staking works. You need to make sure you're engaging in staking with a reputable platform. But a lot of folks are using this as a way to increase their investment profits when investing in crypto. So I encourage you to continue learning more before you decide to engage. And if you'd like to learn more about staking, I encourage you to read my book, just like John is doing, The Truth About Crypto. And if you've got a question, you can do what John did. Record your voice on your smartphone and send me the audio file to askrick@thetruthayf.com. Do you have a child or a grandchild headed to college? You want them to go to college so they can get a good job, get a high income, have a happy life. But be careful. College today is not what it was when you and I went to college, and that's why I need you and the kids in your household to watch my new master class. It's called Preparing Teens for Their Future, How to Prevent College from Ruining Their Lives. Yeah, pretty provocative headline, isn't it? But it's true. I need you to watch. It's free. You can learn how to make sure your kids benefit from college instead of getting destroyed by it. My new free masterclass, it's Preparing Teens for Their Future, How to Prevent College from Ruining Their Lives. You can watch it for free anytime. Just go to thetruthayf.com. That's thetruthayf.com. Time now for everybody's favorite segment of the program, Visit by my wife, Jean Edelman. Jean is a student of the healing arts, Reiki, traditional Chinese medicine, homeopathy, acupuncture, and of course, macrobiotic and plant-based cooking. Here's Jean.
Wonderful to be with you this week. I hope you are having a wonderful week. Today, I want to ask you a question. What is your favorite flower? How special is it when we have flowers around us? Most of us love a beautiful flower garden. The warm sun brings out the amazing colors of these beautiful, beautiful flowers. And how special is it to give and or receive flowers? Oh, it must be a special occasion when the flowers show up. But a flower brings a smile. A flower softens our heart. A flower represents love and caring. Flower sends the message that someone is thinking of us. Now I want you to hold on to that image of the beautiful flower or your most favorite flower. What are the positive feelings that you get when you hold it or you see that flower? Now, what if you're having conflict with someone? What if, after we offer this beautiful flower in our imagination, they stop screaming or being uncomfortable? What if, when we offer this flower, their entire demeanor stops? It changes. It changes to something positive. What if? We have the power to change the world around us with our thoughts, our actions, and using our imagination to diffuse a situation is possible. So here's our action item for the week. Pay attention to how flowers make us feel. When we come upon a situation or a person where there's conflict, practice taking a breath, smile, and in our imagination, offer them a beautiful flower. Observe how the situation changes. So you know what my word of the week is? It's the rose, because that is the most beautiful flower. The R is for rise, to rise above the drama, to not get pulled into the situation, because these situations just drain our energy and they drain our time. Remove ourselves with a smile from whatever it is that is not in our best interests, to rise above. The O is for oasis, a place of calm in the midst of chaos. We can make our own oasis when we stop, breathe, and smile and step away from the fray. The S is for shield, to protect. It is healthy to have boundaries. We want to protect our time, we want to protect our energy and our resources. So when we flow with life, we are the captain of our ship. Don't let those tugboats latch on and start dragging us in a direction that we don't wish to go. We captain the ship. The E is for embrace. We want to embrace our life and what is important to us. We can't do that if we're depleted by others tugging on us. Embrace what's important. Embrace our path and our journey. I encourage you this week to find some flowers, something vibrant and joyful. Focus on how they make us feel. Share them with others. And when we're having a bad moment in our imagination, share that with others. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, everyone.
If you're enjoying Jean's Words of the Week, you can get a list of them and all of her segments at thetruth.ayf.com.
We got friendship, the kind that lasts a lifetime. Through all the hardship, you know you're a friend of mine.
The Truth About Your Future is sponsored by Global X ETFs. Exponential technologies are transforming the world around us and creating new investment opportunities along the way. But where to start? At Global X, we have spent more than a decade focusing on long-term emerging trends, what we call thematic growth. While many of these disruptions are now part of our daily lives, like fintech and telemedicine, others are making their impact felt behind the scenes, or perhaps under the hood. Think of the lithium batteries that power electric vehicles, the rise of hydrogen fuel cells, or renewables like solar and wind, which are becoming increasingly cost-competitive and more appealing to consumers who are environmentally conscious or sensitive to volatile fuel prices. All of these themes represent vital components of a next-generation green energy economy that is more reliant on innovation and less dependent on fossil fuels. Learn how you can add these and other green investment themes to your portfolio at globalxetfs.com. That's globalxetfs.com, or ask your financial advisor.
You're listening to The Truth About Your Future with Rick Edelman. Thanks for listening to today's show, and thanks to Bitwise Asset Management for being our sponsor. Rick asked Bitwise to support the show because Bitwise has just one mission: to help you understand and access the opportunities in crypto. As crypto continues to grow in scale and complexity, a trusted guide is more important than ever. That's why Bitwise has built a nationwide team of crypto experts to help you. So take advantage of Bitwise's team. They work closely with financial advisors, institutions, and individual investors just like you. Talk to a Bitwise expert today or sharpen your crypto knowledge with Bitwise's awesome library of content. You'll find great help whether you're a crypto beginner or a financial professional. Crypto has major risks to consider, including the loss of your entire investment. So before investing in crypto funds, visit bitwiseinvestments.com for their library of content and to learn about the risks with these investments. That's bitwiseinvestments.com.
Thanks for joining me on the show this week. And remember, if you miss any part of the show, you can download it wherever you get your favorite podcasts, as well as my website, thetruthayf.com. And starting in January, this radio show will be exclusively a daily podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. I'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
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 I'm sorry, what? What part didn't you understand? The buh or the bye? Bye-bye.
The Truth About Your Future with Rick Edelman has been brought to you by Global X ETFs, dedicated to providing investors with unexplored and intelligent solutions. And by Bitwise, a trusted guide in crypto has never mattered more. Connect with their dedicated team of crypto experts nationwide at bitwiseinvestments.com. And by Invesco QQQ, a fund that allows you to access the innovators of the NASDAQ 100. Invesco.com. Stay tuned for Everyday Wealth with Soledad O'Brien and Gene Chatsky from Edelman Financial Engines. Everydaywealth.com/radio. EFE and The Truth About Your Future with Rick Edelman are unaffiliated entities.
Get the truth about your future every weekend with Rick Edelman. It's thetruthayf.com.